Good morning. The peace of the Lord be with you. Dear God, your love shows up in all sorts of places in our lives and in the lives of others throughout the world. Bless the Church of First Lutheran to stay deeply committed to living out your love in word and in deed, in Detroit Lakes, in Becker County, across the state, and around the world. You are love, and we give thanks for the faithfulness of First Lutheran to your work here on earth. And everyone said, Amen. I'm Karen Mathison, the proud daughter of Pete and Liz Mathison, who are members here of your congregation. I live and work out of my home outside of Toledo, Ohio, and I work for the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. I'm one of their newest members of their team as the Director of Mission Funding. So I help to raise resources for the work of our church, to end poverty, to end hunger, to rid the world of malaria, to grow leaders, and to grow new churches across the world. You here at First Lutheran Church, this congregation is your home base. But beyond your congregation, you also belong to something bigger, the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. Thank you for your support of this larger church. I think it's amazing to think about this, that for myself as a cradle Lutheran, we are 9,100 places strong, with more than 3.5 million people across the world worshiping. Members of one another moving forward together with the living, daring confidence of His grace. So, in what ways do you see God's love on display? Maybe it's in the helping hand of someone who falls on hard times. Maybe it's the energy of your grandchild helping you in the kitchen. Perhaps in the delivery of a meal and a conversation. Here at First Lutheran, your support of the greater church is very strong. I know later in the month of July, you're going to have the missionary that you support here in your church talking with you about the work that's happening in India and in Asia and in other parts of the world. And so I'm going to leave that message for him. But I will tell you that your work that you support to the global church is providing support across 60 countries, including the U.S., in world hunger, around health, water, agriculture, livestock, education, peace, and justice. You help live the gospel out loud. I was surprised earlier this week when I learned this fact. 30 to 40% of all food that's produced here in our world is actually wasted. Our earth produces 1.5 times the amount of food that we need. So the lack of food is not about scarcity, it's about inequality. And so together and creatively, we work with partners across the world to see that all are fed. When you live Lutheran, you help us give generously, serve joyfully, witness boldly, and live faithfully. You help make sure that young adults are entering into global mission work. And last year, 76 young adults, YAGM is what it's called in the church, the acronym of Young Adults in Global Mission. They're like the Peace Corps of the church. And this year we have 76 young people across the world who are working in mission. You've helped support more than 900 seminary students with scholarships to enter the field of ministry. You're helping right now with more than 400 new startup ministries across the world. You help inspire the witness with your abundance here at First Lutheran. So my job today is really just to say thank you for your abundance, for sharing with the worldwide church. And I'm going to close with a story. So my dad is here, and when he was growing up, this is a made-up story, but he has two good friends, Stan and Victor. And when Delroy and Stan and Victor would get together, sometimes they might have caused trouble, kind of like my brother and I might have, just once or twice. right? And so this is a made-up story, but it could be really happening. That 3 young boys bored with the druthers of summer. One of them says, let's go trick the old lady who lives at the end of the block. And they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to catch a bird in our hand. And when we go up to her door and ring her doorbell, we're going to put the bird behind our back, and we'll say to her, old lady, old lady, old lady, I have a bird behind my back. Is it alive or is it dead? And if she says that it's dead, we'll release it. If she says that it's alive, I'll crush it in my hands. So either way, we will have tricked the old lady. So off they go, thinking this is the best plan. They catch the bird, they have it behind their back, they ring the old lady's doorbell. And as they had practiced, they say to her as she answers the door, old lady, old lady, old lady, I have a bird behind my back. Is it alive or is it dead? And it's in the answer of her question to that from our boys that I think we can, or to those boys that I think we can find out what it means to live in community. Because in her wisdom, she says to those boys, well, it's in your hands. How we care for each other, how we care for those who live here in Detroit Lakes or in Becker County, in Toledo, Ohio, or across the world, that is in each of our hands. And you help the church care for so many. So thank you very much for having me today, and thank you for sharing God's abundance with the world through the ELCA.